pal Palamation, and today I wanted to talk about a series very close to my heart, MegamanX. X is one of my all-time favorite characters, and comes second only to Mario in terms of figures I've collected. MegamanX busted onto the scene in 1993 and enjoyed a good deal of success before struggling with a decline in game quality and demand. As a result, Capcom shelved his series, only letting him out to play in crossover games such as Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Project Cross Zone. This silence from Capcom applied to not just the X series, but the Mega Man series as a whole. The classic series eventually saw a revival with Mega Man 9, 10, and 11, marking 3 classic series releases since the last mainline X game in 2004. A Mega Man X collection and Maverick Hunter X and X1 Remake were released in 2006, with no new releases at all until the X Legacy collection in 2018. That's a whole 12 years without a single release, and it was just another collection. So does this mean the X series is dead? Well, not exactly. In this video, I want to go over the hints and reasons that lead me to believe we can expect a Mega Man X9, as well as discuss what I would like this new game to be. Let's RockmanX dive in. You get it? Because RockmanX Dive is the name of the mobile game. It's not out in America. So first, I want to cover my reasons for believing in an X9 that are more speculation than fact. One such reason is Mega Man X models and figures. Despite not having a new non-collection release since 2006, we are still seeing a very steady string of new collectibles for the Blue Robot, with some toys yet to even be released. Many of these figures are even receiving brand new official art. While not any real evidence of an X9, these releases show that the fanbase is still there and willing to put money towards the X series. The next little bit we have is for the aforementioned RockmanX Dive mobile game. While it was hard to research any sort of sales figures or download numbers, I'd wager that based on the game's steady stream of updates and support, that it is faring considerably well, with loads of new artwork and characters from the Zero and ZX series making appearances. This is the most X series support we've seen in a long time, and while some may consider it a new game, the fact that it doesn't follow the real X and Friends tells me that this isn't our long-awaited X9. Still, seeing this level of support for the X series shows Capcom isn't afraid to make something new for our favorite buster-wielding hero. Now, for some more concrete evidence, we have a 2018 interview with the producer on Mega Man 11, Kazuhiro Tsuchiya. And yeah, sorry if I mispronounced that. When asked about a Mega Man X9, Tsuchiya stated that X9 isn't in development, but followed up saying that it doesn't mean they are doing nothing and are monitoring the reactions from their gamers. Mega Man 11 came about as a result of the Mega Man Legacy Collection's commercial and critical success. Tsuchiya stated this point as a huge help in getting approval for a new game to be developed. And seeing as the X Legacy Collection has sold over 1 million copies combined, something very few Mega Man games achieve, things are looking promising. And as my final and most promising hint towards a Mega Man X9, we can look to the Mega Man X Legacy Collection soundtrack that released alongside the game in 2018. After the entry for Mega Man X8 in the booklet, it reads, "The story of X's fight is not yet over." Similar phrasing of this was found in the classic series in the Mega Man 20th Anniversary book, which showed this picture with the caption, "The legend is not yet complete." A year later, this hint was confirmed by the release of Mega Man 9. So when it comes to Mega Man X9, I see the game as more of a when than if. Capcom has already shown they have interest in creating a new Mega Man X game, and due to the success of the X Legacy Collection as well as the launch of RockmanX Dive, I think they plan to strike while the iron's hot. People still love Mega Man X, and while it's no Mario or Zelda, it still has a respectable fan base. Considering the game's lesser broad appeal, I think Capcom would be wise to make a smaller scope game similar to how Mega Man 9 was a graphical step backwards from 8, which is a great segue into my next bit, how I would make the next Mega Man X game. So first off, let's talk about the game's appearance. As stated earlier, I believe the smart move would be to use the graphical style found in one of the older titles. Some series like Mega Man and Pokemon are best represented through sprites rather than 3D. Well, in my opinion anyway. While classic Mega Man went back to the 8-bit look, I think Mega Man X has never looked better than when he was on the PS1. X's appearance was at its peak in X4 through 6. While X5 and 6 aren't exactly the best games, the sprite work in pseudo 3D gave X such a memorable and distinct look. Looking at the countless custom sprites made by using X as a base, I think many fans would agree. That and X4 was my first ever Mega Man game, and I still consider it the best X title. So I'm a little bit biased, but adopting this style would be both cost effective and appeal to the nostalgic side of gamers, so it's a win-win. I do away with the upgrade shop from X8 and return to finding all the collectibles and power-ups hidden in levels. I would give X multiple armor options while giving Zero his own ultimate armor this time around. Perhaps you would find capsules that contain a shadowy figure demanding these upgrades be used for mass destruction, which Zero would find weird but take them anyway. I would also keep button input cheat codes for different color variations and armors. Now, I want to get into how I would write the story for the game. I know there's a lot more to talk about in terms of designing a game, but a lot of that is going to get discussed here as I explain the story, so just sit tight. Now, for anyone who played X8, you'll remember it ended on a cliffhanger with Axel being injured and a strange glow coming from where he was struck. The game should continue this story by having Axel show strange behavior before going AWOL. A concerned X and Zero decide to go after him, but are stopped when sightings of Lumine are reported. X decides he should look into the Lumine situation, and Zero should search for Axel. This leads to the game returning to X4's structure and setting up separate storylines for both X and Zero. While this would do away with the two-character selection for levels, it would provide players a reason to beat the game multiple times and expand X9's longevity. So as Zero, you chase down Axel in each level. Once getting to the level's end, you'll find he has defeated a high-ranked Maverick Hunter, and will assume their form to fight you with. Upon defeat, he'll escape the area and the cycle will repeat. As X, you'll go through the same levels, but there will be different paths only accessible to certain characters. These levels will all take place after Zero has gone through, and you'll see some of his aftermath. At each level's end, X will stumble upon a Reploid resembling Lumine. Lumine will give little hints here and there as to what's happening to Axel. Then he'll assume the form of the dead Maverick Hunter in the area to fight. This will allow X and Zero to fight essentially the same bosses while allowing both of their stories to make sense, unlike X4 where their stories couldn't coexist without contradicting each other. Upon beating the 8 levels, each story will lead you to the Reploid production facility. Here, Zero will discover Axel has been gathering codes from these high-ranked Maverick Hunters that grant him access to Reploid production. He plans to insert copies of his data into each Reploid, giving him essentially unlimited copies of himself. Zero will fight and defeat Axel, where his story will come to an abrupt end. X will arrive at the facility after Zero to find Lumine blocking his entrance to the final room. Lumine will warn X to not interfere with his plans and that he needs to confront Axel alone. X, of course, will refuse, so Lumine will assume the form of Sigma to fight X. X will defeat him and make his way into the room with Zero and Axel. X's story will then come to an abrupt end as well. After beating the game as both X and Zero, you'll unlock Axel's story. Axel's story will begin with him fighting a voice in his head. After losing control to the voice, he'll confront each of the 8 Maverick Hunters and best them in battle. He'll then have a short conversation with the voice each time before being interrupted by Zero. A short scene will play of their battle before Axel retreats. This will repeat until the final level. At the facility, Axel will begin his fight with Zero alone. Then when X enters the room, he'll have to fight them both. Whatever armor upgrades you have for both the characters will be present in this battle, meaning the better you did in X and Zero's story, the more difficult this fight will be. As X and Zero approach the unconscious Axel, the damaged Lumine still donning Sigma's appearance bursts through the door. He pushes X and Zero aside before grabbing Axel, who revealed that the Sigma appearance is his true form and he's been Sigma all along. I know, big surprise, but bear with me. He tells X and Zero that Lumine has implanted his data inside of Axel and has been controlling him all along. Sigma starts to merge with Axel, hoping to override the other two consciences and take Lumine's plan all for himself. The presence of 2 copy abilities in one body causes Axel's body to go haywire, becoming a mess of different parts from various other Reploids. Axel begins to wail around as a mindless beast. X and Zero reluctantly battle the disfigured Reploid in an attempt to calm him down. This battle will allow use of the swapping character mechanic found in X7 and 8. After this battle, the player will resume control of Axel inside his conscience. Sigma and Lumine will appear, both demanding control over Axel's body. Axel will refuse, and a 3-way battle will take place, where your objective is less about attacking and more about getting the two to whittle each other down so you can make the final blow. Upon their defeat, the two inform Axel that killing them will destroy his body and take them all out as well. Axel will smile and tell them that he's lived a good life with 2 of the greatest friends a guy could ask for, and that taking both Mavericks down to give his friends a better future is the easiest decision he's ever made. He'll pull his dual pistols and simultaneously shoot both Mavericks in the head. The scene will return to X and Zero hesitating to finish Axel off, when suddenly the beast explodes, revealing a badly damaged normal Axel. Axel will tell his friends of his decision and thank them for leading him down the right path. X and Zero will plead with Axel to stay, who just assures them that now there will be peace and places his hands on both of their faces before passing. X and Zero will carry Axel's body out of the facility with sorrow, before being blinded by a ray of sun. They'll look up and smile as a voiceover from X tells of Axel's brave sacrifice and the hope he left behind for them. And that's how I would make MegamanX 9. This is a bit of a rough draft and would definitely have some kinks to work out, but my main goal was to create a way for X, Zero, and Axel to have their own separate stories while fighting through the same bosses and levels in a way that made sense and allowed them to coexist with each other. And let me make it clear, I have no problems with Axel. I like his abilities, design, and overall character quite a bit. And I know it's not the most joyous story, but I see Capcom having a real opportunity here to wrap up some loose ends, like why Axel is absent from the Zero series. I also feel the X games could use a more emotional plot, as story hasn't always been its strong suit. But who knows, maybe Capcom has even greater plans for Axel, and want to keep him around for a while. Or maybe they'll just never reveal his fate, which seems equally if not more likely than killing him off. But what do you guys think? Is Axel your favorite character? Do you scorn me for even suggesting killing him off? Do you think this sounds like a great sequel? Did you only click this video because you're uber desperate for an ounce of hope of getting a new Mega Man X? I'd love to hear it all in the comments, and if you like the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I play many video game series, and I love making videos on all of them. Until next time, it's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun. Have a good one.